Guys, welcome back. Which Infinix is it? Today we have a Hot 10 charging system problem, and I've noticed those videos are a bit popular here. That means a lot of you guys need to be able to fix your charging system, or at least know the process that you undergo to fix the charging system. Anyway, I'm going to bore you with the opening part. Perhaps someone is a total novice, they have never opened the device. Now this is to show you that it's something very basic. One, we have to remove the SIM card tray. So you poke this with a pin and that comes out. I'm a bit lazy with that. So, okay. I guess I have to poke with a pin. Usually, with the fingernail you can actually pull it out. Question is, where is the pin? So, since this decided to come out leaving the other piece, that means it gets out of the place that I need to. So this should be work of a surgical blade, but I think I'm over trusting my fingernails to be able to do the trick. I only do this with Infinix and Technos. Their glasses are a bit friendly, like soft. Now, no, it's not. It's flexible. For the Samsung, it's really tough plastic. I don't want to use those words. So, at this stage, this is a fingerprint sensor. Whenever you see a fingerprint sensor, there's a likelihood it's glued on the back cover. So you don't want to pull this case. You may tear the fiber that connects this to the motherboard. So one of the ways to at least be safe and not take chances is squeeze this down as you pull this out. That makes sure the fingerprint port remains behind despite the back coming off, just like that. And this saves me. Okay, for today we got a bit lucky in that the fingerprint is actually under that plastic, but today's focus is not on this. We are interested in the lower part. So we are going to unscrew these bottom screws to access the lower subboard, since we are going to change the charging port. Now, first screw is out, second screw is out, except it has refused to stick to my magnetized screwdriver tip. We will forgive it for that misbehavior. Anyway, this screw is out and this screw is out, and just like that. Okay, that one complied, thank you. Have I opened this? I like to think, okay, no, I just presumed because it was perforated I had opened it, but since I'm not the first person going in, that's how the screw is perforated. These are usually warranty stickers that go over the screws, such that you cannot claim you didn't open the phone, yet they appear perforated. Now disconnect this. This fiber goes to the main motherboard and is shared with the screen. So we are interested in this. But now, since we have to remove this, we notice that there's a vibrator here. We can do one of two things: desolder it from that point, it stays, or unglue it and comes along with this. For now, since my soldering gun is already heated up, I'm going to just desolder it and pick the subboard itself. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, I noticed, okay, the coaxial cable, the one that handles network, is this side. Disconnect that and then desolder this. You should actually memorize the color coding. The red is on the right side and then the black is on the left side, though in some cases it's indicated, so you can always know. Plus is usually the red terminal and negative. Now we are going to change this port because it has chipped off. If you look carefully to that inner side there, the plastic that is supposed to cover that copper contact point is chipped. So in as much as I wanted to simply resolder this port, I need to change it so this person can last with this device a little longer. So I'm going to put a whole new port. That said, I need to get the port. Okay, it's in here, and I think it's of that type, so I need to pick only one of those and use. Okay, so this is, let me zoom out. So this is like a testimony of the ports I've so far fixed using this particular stock of charging ports. This is a common port. So these ports actually normally differ by anchorage. Much as the front looks similar, you'll notice that the anchorage differs. So don't be deceived that you'll pick a port from a different model of phone and then use it on another, unless they are identical models. I just wanted to show you some differences here. Now you see this port, it's the same type of opening, but when you look at the anchoring, quite different from this, yet they all accommodate the same type of USB. Yeah, so actually when you go to buy them, there are almost over 100 variations of ports, and that's the dilemma. I stock this as many because this is a common one. Now we proceed to remove this port from there, and as such we use a hot air gun. We're going to set the temperature to 350 degrees and the airflow at 6. Unfortunately, you just have to believe me because that's off camera. It can't fit under the place where I'm recording. The most you can do is hear the wind of the camera. So now as this heats up, this is a trick that I want to show you that ensures you always successfully take off the port without over burning the board. Now since we want, okay, that has decided to go falling. Since we want to remove this, the idea is to lift this up and apply heat so that this falls under its weight and leaves this in your hand. I think I had tweezers. Let me find them. These are what I call tweezers, and this will help me pick this up. Like it's a bit deformed. Let me straighten it so that the tips are laying. Can you see it's missing itself? Okay, yeah, it's still going offside. Okay, so that's good. So I'm going to pick this and then hold it just about 5 centimeters off this board, because again you don't want it falling and components next to it fall off also, since the heat is going to melt every contact point there. Now bring it from above at a certain height while lifting this. It's really hot, and that comes off, and just like that it is out. This saves you. So what has happened there is that I know the typical melting point of the solder used on this board, which is usually around 300 degrees C. That's why I pushed it a little to 350 and focused it at that point so that it don't take very long. Now the next stage is, since we are going to let this sit in here, clearly this has to anchor here. Now it's wise to blow these holes empty, and you could do that with the solder suction device, which always chooses to hide. So for today I'm going to just use the soldering gun. So what I do is apply this soldering gun tip to this. When it's molten, I blow a pulse of air out of, sorry, through here so that it goes flying away. I won't do that under the camera. You'll just hear me do it. So just like that, you can see that these holes have opened. Let me zoom in so you can see that these have holes. You see, you can see when I pass this under it, you can see it's hollow, but this side isn't. So I'm also going to do that. Quickly retract the soldering gun as I blow a pulse of air. And just like that, that one is also open and ready to be accessed. So that means we can now freely bring our new port and plug it into that hole right there. Now the trick is, first we begin by roughly soldering those conductive terminals, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. But before you do that, make sure you apply flux. Flux enables the solder to flow with ease. That prevents it from oxidizing as you're trying to apply it. But before I do that, I'm going to clean the tip of my soldering gun, attempt to make it more pointed, and then put a veneer of solder. Anyway, I think I feel like I owe it to you to show you how I'm going to try to make this bit pointed. So I'm using pliers to sort of draw it out. Because it's also pointless having it spilling solder over to surrounding components that should not be receiving solder. So this is soldering wire, and I'm going to try to tin the tips. Okay. All right, I am done preparing my tip. So I can now come right here. That will flow away. Where is this ball going underneath there? Oh, okay, some solder has gone to that terminal. I think I'm going to be forced to have to make that settle down right there, so that these be flush as I'm swabbing. So we are interested in the extreme two terminals to begin with, because those are the charging lines. And I don't know, probably let me try to zoom in to see what's happening right there. All right. After temporarily making sure that first and last contacts are okay, now I can anchor the second anchor point, and actually third and fourth, like that. That's just temporary to allow me to swab here to and fro without any worries. So I need to tin this, except the solder I don't want to stick. Okay, no problem. I'm going to go with it and then keep on swabbing to and fro as I pick some from it to go to the terminals. Oh no, I keep drifting off the screen. Also when it is zoomed in, any slight movement to the left or right takes me out of frame. So guys, bear with me. It's a bit tricky to both observe the display of the phone recording and where I'm working, also if I am going to focus. So all right, now that that's that, I can proceed to make sure that it is thorough. So most people be asking me, how are you able to do micro soldering? So the idea with micro soldering is I'm not going to put the solder wire directly at the points that I need to solder, but I'll just put a film of solder on the tip of the soldering gun, keep swabbing to and fro. As heat melts the contact points, it allows some of the solder from the tip of the soldering gun to move onto the points that are being soldered. Now that that is done, I can now go forward to do the final soldering of the anchor points. All right, that, and then that. Okay, so occasionally excess solder may want to stay and compromise the ability to close, so spread that out like that. So the next thing is we do the initial testing. If you might be wondering, if you might be wondering, the intermediate contact points that are in between the extreme ones is data lines. Okay, I think this is sufficient. So we're going to plug in and do an initial test. Let me find my charger and also zoom out. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. So my charger has this bit of contraption. It helps me detect if current is being drawn. So I'm going to plug it into the socket. So I just believe that I am doing that. I have plugged in, and then I need to bring this here. Is that the orientation? Is it? No, it is this way. Okay, this is the orientation. Plug in the connector that's supposed to transmit power from that lower board to the main board, and then we plug this in. Okay, this shows it is drawing 0.9 amperes. Okay, the screen also has coincidentally shown it was at 0. Huh, what are the odds? So yeah, it's at 0. Now I'm going to pick out this and then clean it with isopropyl alcohol to remove the excess flux that remains, and then also come back and close. While closing, I'll keep it plugged in so that we check increase in voltage, because that's the ultimate test of charging. Now I need some tissue got done. You pinch for me some piece of mattress there.
Attacking yourself.
No problem. Why should I sweat, guy?
I hope you're live.
Yeah. Well, at times you improvise. So. This is isopropyl alcohol. It's non-organic and it's volatile, so it's good for cleaning electronics, trying to get rid of any oilish stuff. But then again, it shouldn't drop into the screen because it tends to go to the inner reflective layers, and when it dries up, leaves a patch that really looks appealing to look at. So that this is done, I'm going to plug it in, keep it hooked up for charging as I close, and then after I've closed, we can monitor the percentage. Right. Now, because that's an organic solvent, you can see what it does to rubber. It sort of softens it up, but this will recover as the solvent evaporates. That rubber is to sort of cushion the charging port. So the earphone jack, not the charging port, cushions it when you press on and off. Because it's going to take its time to dry, let me glue one end of it such that as it dries, it recovers shape slowly. That's rubber glue, so it's not a permanent glue, so any time you need, it is reversible. Now this has to go around this like that, and then that there. And let me solder our vibrator. So in case you've had a charging replacement and you no longer have your vibrator working, it's likely that this hasn't been resoldered or entirely forgotten out of the device, and it shouldn't over worry you. It's as simple as resoldering or getting another vibrator motor. Okay, all right. So I am still trying to push this process to be able to be done within